Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing good. This is a weekly market update live stream, and if you are new to my YouTube channel, please make sure to subscribe to it and please make sure that you have already liked the live stream. Also, if you're not following me over Twitter, 𝗟𝘅𝗿𝗚, this is my Twitter handle. I occasionally post market updates and calls over my Twitter account also, so make sure that you're following this Twitter account. And finally, if you would like to receive more organized updates and calls, you can always join in the Discord server. The link you can find in the description of this video. We have some exciting offers going on premium subscription, and we have some giveaways also going on. So make sure that you are already in the Discord server to get notified about all of these giveaways and offers. Uh, and one more thing, I would encourage all of you to please go and read this thread that I shared with you. I quoted this tweet on my Twitter account. I would encourage all of you, as soon as the live stream ends, especially if you are using 𝗍𝗁𝘃, then I would encourage all of you to please just go and read this thread in detail and then go to this Twitter account and read the pinned tweet also. It's about the proof of reserves that 𝗍𝗁𝘃 says that they have complete proof of reserves and everything. So I would just recommend all of you to go and read this thread and all the details mentioned in it, because through this platform and in our Discord server also, I have been repeatedly mentioning that it's not safe to use this platform. 𝗍𝗃 I'm talking about. If you really care about your money, if you really care about your capital, then you should be choosing the exchange, the platform that you're trading on very carefully. And this is something that people pay the least amount of attention towards. They usually do not care about what platform they are using, but just imagine that if you are using something like uh, FTX or any other platform like 𝗍𝗁𝘃, which I personally believe is going to be the next FTX, then you would eventually end up losing all of your capital. Most people fall for zero fee thing. Most people fall for other similar stuff. But Bluffin is the only exchange that we promote regularly. Bluffin is the only exchange that we talk about regularly, and we you know have done our complete due diligence. We have always mentioned that this is the only platform that I have full trust in, and I have the direct line of communication with their manager also, with people working in Bluffin, which is actually a very good thing. With all of these other exchanges that I just mentioned to you, you do not have a similar kind of line of communication. So that is why I would recommend all of you guys to please stop using 𝗍𝗁𝘃. Okay, it's not about the fee part. I'm telling you, I'm paying thousands of dollars in fee, and I have never really cared about the fee part. As long as you are profitable, as long as you are making enough profits, you wouldn't really care about the fee part, right? Your first priority should be that the platform that you are using is safe, your funds are safe, and that, in my opinion, Bluffin is a very good option in this regard. So once again, I would encourage all of you to go both of these tweets that I shared. One I already have quoted, and then go to this account and read this pinned tweet also, and then make your decision. I can only warn you guys. And uh, 𝗍𝗁𝘃 has been doing this for a long time. They would freeze your funds, and recently, they updated their terms and conditions in March, and they included this specific term saying that if we see any sort of issue with your account, we can just freeze your funds for 365 days. And before they made that change, the initial period was 30 days. So they could legally hold your funds for 30 days. At least that is what they were saying in their terms of service, terms and conditions. Obviously, they can completely wipe out all of your account. And this has done to so many different people. They can simply just empty all of your account saying that we did this because we find we have been noticing some market manipulation, we have been noticing some anomalies, etc. So they could simply just give you any excuse to take all of your funds away from your account. So that is why it's never really a good idea to have all of your funds in one exchange account. You can obviously distribute over multiple exchanges, but yeah, Bluffin is a safe platform in this regard. Now let's start with the market update part. I would once again request all of you to please subscribe to the channel. Please make sure to like the live stream. So the US market just opened. Bitcoin is right now trading at 113,000. First of all, just a quick overview of the some positions that we have open. We have one short position open. In fact, this is a very interesting situation because we have one short position open and one long position open. I usually avoid doing that because it's like it's never really a good idea. But because waves was looking good, so I opened a short position at that time because when we opened this short position on waves, price on the Bitcoin chart was breaking below 110,000 level, right? It's almost trading around the entry price. It's still sitting at the resistance level. But I did mention that it's a risky short position. The reason is because price is sitting on the 1 day yearly VWAP, and this is exactly what happened. You can see that price just bounced straight from the 1 day quarterly VWAP, and 1 day yearly VWAP is also sitting around here. So that is why it's a bit of a risky position, but we still have this short position open, and then we have this long position open. This one looks much better in comparison. This one is looking good because price is sitting on the yearly VWAP, is sitting on the quarterly VWAP on the daily time frame chart. If you go to the 4 hour time frame chart and if you would draw the fib levels, then price is also sitting on 65%, 61.8% fib level. And then you have this descending trend line also in formation, which means that it's very soon about to have a breakout. And finally, if you would go back to the daily time frame chart, then you can see that this is the first retest of the support. I always mention this thing that the first retest is always your single best opportunity to open a long or a short position. So if you would like to open a long position, right now, then we have this long position open on quantum. QTUM is the symbol, and you can open this long position at the market price. Price is trading slightly below our entry, meaning that you can still get into this position before it gives a breakout. Apart from that, we have a spot position open on LDO. I already have explained this quite a few times that LDO, it's a good position. The trade overall looks really good. Price, by the way, is sitting on the quarterly VWAP, the quarterly VWAP, the yearly VWAP on the daily time frame chart. You can see that same is the case with 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. Also, we have a big descending trend line. Even if you go to the weekly time frame or 3 day time frame chart, you would notice that the LDO chart is looking really good, and then price is sitting at the higher time frame support also. So I am hopeful that it's very soon about to have a breakout above this trend line. It's a high conviction play. I think I did share this play on my Twitter account also. It's a high conviction play, only a matter of time that LDO gives you a breakout above this trend line. Now, a lot many people have been asking me questions about LDO. The reason is because people are overexposed with leverage positions. I would never really recommend opening a spot position with leverage. The highest leverage that you can go with is like 2x or 3x. Obviously, leverage is a subjective thing, but people usually don't do the proper risk management thing. They would not take care of risk management, and then they would take the leverage position, they would take the spot positions with leverage, and then they would simply just start worrying whenever price would go down. So it's a high conviction play, but I did mention when I shared this position that it's not going to pump overnight. It's not like it would break above the trend line overnight. It's definitely going to take some time, and it's a high conviction play. So sooner or later, I believe that it's going to have a big breakout above this trend line. Now let's shift our focus towards the Bitcoin chart, and I would like to start from the stable.c.d chart. So I've been sharing the updates mainly using the stable.c.d chart. For those of you who don't know, stable.c.d, it's negatively or inversely correlated chart with Bitcoin. It's simply just the uh, market capitalization of all of these stable coins, major stable coins listed on all of these exchanges. In fact, for you guys, I have been working on this PDF that we will be sharing with you probably by the end of the day, in which I am explaining in detail how exactly stable.c.d works. In fact, I'm not just working on this document, but I'm also working on a separate document in which I would explain how exactly USDT dominance also works. USDT dominance is, you can say, a small part in stable.c.d, but basically they both work the same way. But because I was getting a lot many questions from you guys asking about how exactly stable.c.d works, what's the basic function of it, so that is why I thought I would just prepare a whole document. But the problem, I basically have OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder. So if I try to do something, I try to make sure that I'm doing it in the best possible way. So I recently got a few requests from you guys asking about a complete detailed guide on how exactly stable.c.d works, but instead of just giving you a random update or a guide, I thought about creating a whole detailed guide. So that's why, it's definitely going to take some time. I would prepare the document, then I would send it to my designer. He would just, do the formatting and everything, would create the PDF, and then I will be sharing it with you guys. Even we will be publishing it on Foxium's website also. I'm also working on a few other guides on similar subjects, like few other important indices like Bitcoin dominance, BTC dom, total 2, total 3. So it's definitely going to take some time, but if you guys are interested in it, you can let me know. It's a very good subject. Stable.c.d, meme.c, Ethereum's dominance, others BTC, others.d, simple others, BTC dom, BTC.d, total 2, total 3, simple total. So all of these charts, they are, in fact correlated with each other, and they give you a completely different perspective about what's happening on the charts. In fact, I was pointing this out to someone in my Discord channel also, that if, let's suppose, you are trading any of these random altcoins, let's just talk about waves. So if you want an alternate perspective, then instead of just looking at the chart for waves USDT, in fact, the question was, do we have a similar alternative for altcoins also? Just like in terms of Bitcoin, we say that we can take a look at the stable.c.d chart, or we can take a look at USDT dominance or USDC dominance. Do we have a similar alternative for altcoins also? The answer is yes, we do have a similar alternative. And instead of just looking at the chart for waves USDT, what you can do is you can create a custom formula, and you can type in the symbol search waves USDT, and then type this symbol, and then you can basically visualize this chart against Bitcoin also. Okay, so that's going to be a totally different chart. So this is basically the chart for waves USDT against Bitcoin, meaning that this chart would tell you the strength of waves against Bitcoin. If price on this chart would go up, then this would tell you that waves, it's strong in comparison to Bitcoin. If price on this chart would go down, it's going to tell you that waves, it's weak in comparison to Bitcoin. So it's a very good option that you can use. You can do the same form of technical analysis, draw SR level, draw chart patterns, draw trend lines, draw have the VWAP applied, have the 1-day 12 period exponential moving average, etc. applied on this chart, and then you can find out where exactly this price on the waves USDT chart is headed towards. So the thing is that, by using this method, you are simply just going to have an alternate point of view, which in my opinion is a very good thing. By the way, 80 plus people are watching the live stream, and only 25 of you have liked it. So I would really appreciate if all of you are able to like the live stream and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So yeah, I was saying that we do have a similar kind of option with altcoins also, that for each one of these altcoins, for every single altcoin, you can simply just go to the symbols tab, and you can uh, you know uh, type the symbol for that coin, and then try to visualize it against Bitcoin. It's a very good method, and it just gives you an alternate point of view. So going back to our chart, stable.c.d, I was saying that stable.c.d, obviously it's giving you an alternate point of view. And I have been saying this since last few days, that I would only position myself into a short position on Bitcoin once stable.c.d goes back down to this horizontal support. Now, I would highly encourage you guys to please go and watch some of my previous live streams in which I explained in detail how exactly deviation works. And in this case, you can see that stable.c.d, even on the daily time frame chart or on the smaller time frame charts also, stable.c.d created this massive deviation below this support level, right? And I would explain this to you from the perspective of Bitcoin chart as well. When back on Friday, during that conference in Jackson Hole, Powell mentioned about a shift in policy. At that time, price on the Bitcoin chart went from 112,000 to 115,000 to 116,000. Now, at that time, we already had a long position open on Bitcoin. In fact, we had a long position open on ETH also. Both of those positions ended up being profitable. And now you can actually say that it happened because of this fundamental news. And if you would go and watch the last live stream that we did back on Thursday, I was explicitly mentioning that because price is sitting on the 1 day quarterly VWAP, so you can expect a bounce, you can expect a small reaction at least at the 1 day quarterly VWAP. It's not like price would just break through quarterly VWAP, 1 day quarterly VWAP easily. Now, when I posted the same thing on my Twitter account, I see, some people they were saying that this position on Ethereum and Bitcoin played out not because of the quarterly VWAP, but because of, this fundamental news. This is exactly how technical analysis works, right? I mean, you can blame the things on fundamental news, or you can say that because there was a resistance or because there was a support, that is why price went down. This is exactly how technical analysis works, but I would not go into the details of that. My point is that you cannot really say that okay, this happened, price on the Bitcoin chart had a massive rejection or a massive bounce, because World War III was announced. That is why price went from 120,000 down to 100,000 just in a matter of few hours. Or you can say that there was a massive resistance level, or there was some other confluence present on the chart, and because of that price went from 120,000 down to 100,000 level, right? So you can explain these things, and this is a kind of a paradox also, that you can explain these things based on fundamentals also, or you can explain these things based on technicals also. Now that's completely your choice. People used to explain these things using fundamental analysis almost I would say 50 years back. But after technical analysis, after the concept of technical analysis was introduced back in 70s, people started using these chart patterns and everything to explain all of this stuff. But coming back to the stable.c.d chart, it has this massive deviation below this horizontal support. And similarly, Bitcoin also has got a massive deviation above this 115,000, resistance level. Now, during that conference, people who were not already positioned in longs around 112,000, they tried to open long positions, and I'm 110% sure that most of these people, they are already stuck in their long positions. They're already stuck in this region, and people already have long positions open with entry prices around 116,000, and this is exactly how deviation also works. I have explained in detail in some of the previous live streams also, that whenever price would go back up to this level, all these people who are stuck in their long positions, who did not bother to close their positions when this idea got invalidated, they are still stuck in their long positions. This basically just explains to you the average trader mentality, that they would not close their positions, they would not accept the loss, and they would just continue to play the position, right? Even though the idea was completely invalid. And they would just continue to play this position, and whenever price would go back up to this level, obviously all these people who are stuck in their long positions around this range, because these breakout traders, I'm sure that because of this candle close, they would have thought that okay, this is a genuine breakout. The 4 hour candle close happened, the daily candle close happened, so we should be getting into a long position, and no, most likely prices headed towards 120,000 or so. But the thing is that whenever price would go back up to this level, all these people, they would be forced to close their positions break even. Long positions, they will be forced to close their long positions break even. And we know already that whenever long positions are being closed, it basically means that selling is taking place, and as a result, price would have a move downside, and more people would be opening short positions because this is a resistance level, and more people would be opening short positions because obviously, there is deviation present. So, and we know that deviation retest is usually a very good opportunity to build a long or a short. And as a result, we can definitely build a short position around here. And same is the case, by the way, with stable.c.d. Also, this chart has been relatively very easy to trade. I did not take this long position, I'll be honest with you, even though stable.c.d was at resistance. And I would tell you why exactly. We did take this long position on Bitcoin, but we did not take this long position on Bitcoin. The reason is because This was the third retest, and you know already that the first retest, it's always your single best opportunity to take a long or a short trade. By the time you have second, third, or fourth retest, the chances of winning in that setup, they are significantly reduced, meaning that I was confident in at when this retest happened. And by the way, this is, if you guys remember, this was when Bitcoin first gave a retest at 112K. It was on Sunday, almost 2 3 weeks ago, back on 3rd of August. And this was when we opened a position at 112,000 because of 1 day quarterly VWAP retest. 1 day quarterly VWAP retest was happening, and this was the first retest. And this is when this was almost like 2 days ago, when price on the Bitcoin chart went down to 108,000, 108.8K. And by the way, I would explain to you the significance of 108.8K also. A lot many of you have been asking me that the idea about the invalidation of the idea, because in my updates I have been mentioning that there is a big possibility that price on the Bitcoin chart would eventually go back down to 108,000 to 105,000 range. The idea is completely valid, and for as long as 123,000 all-time high is intact, the idea would always remain invalid. Okay, it's very simple. I would show you by drawing the fib levels that how exactly that idea will be invalidated, and until and unless price breaks above 123,000 level, creates a new all-time high, you would always expect the price to go back down to 105,000 to 108,000 range. It's quite possible. So, the reason why we will be taking a short position on Bitcoin, I already explained to you the reasoning using the Bitcoin chart. But looking at the stable.c.d chart, you can see that because there is a massive deviation below this support level, so it's going to be the deviation retest of support, and it's going to be the deviation retest of resistance on the Bitcoin chart, right? And we know that, whenever the deviation retest happens, it's usually a very good opportunity for you to build a position. The reason why we did not take this long position is because although stable.c.d was still trading at the resistance level, but in my opinion, you should not really be relying on the third retest. First is the best opportunity, second is fine. It's completely up to you if you wish to play that or not. But with the third retest, the chances of winning in that setup are significantly reduced. And there is always a possibility that sooner or later price is about to break above this resistance level. And this will happen once Bitcoin starts breaking below 109,000 level, starts closing a few candles below 109,000 level. But yeah, we will be taking the short position at 115,000, 116,000 level. The reason why I have not given any limits as of now, and by the way, guys, you know, uh, some of you have been requesting the updates on open positions. I would recommend you guys to watch this live stream as soon as it ends, because whenever I start my live stream, I usually update on open positions. I already have done that. So I would recommend all of you to watch this live stream from the beginning. The first 10 minutes, we did talk about the quantum position, the waves position, and LDO position. So I was saying that the reason why I have not given any limit order right now is because I'm not sure myself where exactly price on the Bitcoin chart is going to be. Like, I can just give you a rough approximation that maybe if price on the stable.c.d chart goes back 2% down, then in that case Bitcoin would pump almost 2%. Okay, so 2% is going to be roughly 115.1K. So yeah, exactly the same range that I'm talking about, 115,000 to 116,000. This is a range where we will try to get into a short position on Bitcoin, even if this is a lower low formation. And if you would draw the fib levels, then in that situation also, you would come up with similar levels. 70.5% fib level, you can see that starts from 115,000 range. So the reason why I have not given any limit order right now is because I'm not sure where exactly price on the Bitcoin chart would be whenever stable.c.d drops back down to 7.4% level. But we are going to make this decision in real time whenever this drop happens, whenever price on the stable.c.d chart goes back down to retest this higher time frame support. That is when we would get into a position. Something interesting that I have been noticing, and I'm quite sure that we are going to have a move towards 116,000 at least. I'm not sure if this trend line formation has started or not. Yes. So this trend line formation has almost started. If this rejection happens, even if it's a small rejection, then this trend line formation would be confirmed, and there is going to be a similar one on stable.c.d also, which is going to look something like this. So this trend line formation, which means that uh, right now there is no trade for us, okay, because price on the stable.c.d chart is trading in the middle of nowhere. Same is the case with Bitcoin also to some extent, although we can build a small position if 111.9k or 112k retest happens. We can actually build a small long position around here. We can consider this a deviation, although some people would disagree. They would say that this is not a deviation, this is just a retest of support. But still, because I have seen some people saying that you have to extend your support level like this, okay. But I'm usually, whenever I'm drawing the SR levels, I usually try to draw it in a range where you are getting the maximum possible point of contacts, and you don't really have to keep it too wide, you don't really have to keep it too narrow, you just have to keep it somewhere in the middle. And this looks fine to me. And in this situation, if you wish to build a long position on Bitcoin, although it's going to be slightly risky, I would say, because you see, usually I rely on the correlated chart to make these kind of decisions. So if I'm just looking at something on the Bitcoin chart, I would not say that, okay, let's build a long position here. I would usually find the confirmation on these correlated charts. And in that case, because stable.c.d is still trading in the middle of nowhere, so you are not really going to get that confirmation from stable.c.d chart. But yes, what you can do is that based on this small deviation, okay, let me just try to uh, clone this. So based on this deviation on the Bitcoin chart, which just happened below this level, what you can do is you can maybe just place a limit order around 111.3k or 111.9k. I would say 111.3k is fine. Place your stops right under this low, okay? It's going to be a slightly risky position, and then at least target this level. It's not going to be a good RR position. That is why I'm saying that, you can actually avoid it, because the RR, in my opinion, the risk to reward ratio is not good enough. But the good part is that we know for sure that price on the BTC chart is ultimately headed towards 115.5k, 116,000. And if this trendline formation gets confirmed, if we see a small 12-hour candle close or a few 4-hour candle closes under this trend line, then the formation of this trend line will be confirmed further. And then in that case, you will say that this trend line formation has been confirmed, and now there will be a breakout. The breakout will eventually take us towards 115.5k level. So that is why I would recommend that you wait patiently, and if you would wish to catch this move, if you want to catch this move, you can definitely take a long position. The risk to reward ratio may not be that good, but this is going to be your long trigger. Place your stops right under this low and set your TP, or maybe set an optimistic TP somewhere around 120,000 level also. But we are going to attempt a long position anyway around 115.5k level. If I look at the quarterly VWAP on the daily time frame chart, you can see that price had a break below, then it came back up. The first rejection happened, the second rejection happened, this is the third rejection. So you need to play very, very safe, because price is still trading below this massive level. And if we reclaim that this level, it's going to be big. But for as long as we are trading under this level, it still is a risky thing. And if you guys remember, I did explain to you in detail during the last live stream that how important this level really is. And in fact, you can get access to this script. It's a custom script. All you have to do is just join the Discord server, like this live stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, join the Discord server, open up a support ticket, and you will be provided with a script for this indicator. And this is exactly the reason why we opened this long position. We were discussing multiple times, and the question was same. During that live stream, people were asking that if you believe BTC is headed towards 108,000 level, why exactly are you opening a long position here? And my response was, because I am expecting a decent bounce, or I am expecting at least some sort of a bounce or reaction at the 1 day quarterly VWAP. It's not possible for price to just break through this level without giving any first retest. So that was a good thing. Price gave the first retest, and it was a good decision to open a long position. And even if you would go back in history, you can see that price almost always reacts to this level. Even back in the month of Feb also, you can see that price had a break below, then price continued with these attempts to break above this level. Same situation that we are seeing here. Okay, same situation that we are seeing here. There were multiple attempts. You can see that the break below happened on 7th of Feb, and then till 21st of Feb, for like almost 2 weeks, price consecutively was heading into this level over and over again, trying to break above. And then finally, we had a massive move from this level, from 98,000 all the way down to 74,000. And this was the first retest, by the way. So that is why this indicator or this dynamic line, it's very important. So if the reclaim happens, it's going to be a big thing. But because the reclaim has not happened, this is something which makes the long position even more risky, and I would not recommend. The RR is not too good. You will be keeping your position around 116,000 level. That's still 1.68 risk to reward ratio. Although it's not best, but still, it's average risk to reward ratio, and I would not encourage opening a long position here. But if you wish to do so, you can just open a long position at 111.3k, place your stops right into this low. So yeah, this is what I'm expecting from the BTC chart. Right now, for me, there is no trade. We have been successfully taking every position on Bitcoin and Ethereum for the past 1 or 2 months. And one thing that I would say, one confluence that I would say has always worked for us is patience. So all you need to do is just be patient here. This is complete chop chop. All you have to do is just wait for price to come back to you instead of going after the price. Okay, so just wait for price to come back to your point of interest. And in this situation, for me, the point of interest is either going to be 108,000 or it's going to be 116,000. 108,000, I would explain to you why. So stable.c.d, we already established that it needs to go back down to this level, 7.4 to 7.43, and that is where we will open a short position on BTC. There are some early signs on stable.c.d, by the way, that reversal might be happening. One big reversal sign is this double bottom pattern, which is in formation. This is first bottom, this is second bottom, and all the conditions are being satisfied also, because we already know that a double bottom pattern is only valid if it's formed in a downtrend. Yes, this one was formed in a downtrend. Secondly, a double bottom pattern is only valid if price gives you a break above neckline. In this situation, the break above neckline has not happened, but whenever that happens, it's going to be a good short trigger for Bitcoin. And also, it needs to be formed at some higher time frame support resistance level. So in this situation, you can see that this pattern was formed at a higher time frame support, meaning that all the conditions are being satisfied. Only one condition that's still remaining is that price has not given a break above the neckline so far. So this candle close, one daily candle close above this level is going to be a massive thing on the Bitcoin chart. And that is when we can comfortably start taking a short position, and we can take a short and set a TP as soon as price on the stable.c.d chart goes back up to 8.3% level, which is going to be almost 103,000, 105,000 range for Bitcoin. So yeah, everything that depends is on stable.c.d chart, and there are some early signs that this chart is giving you a reversal. We cannot really be sure unless we see a structure break. I wouldn't say structure break is going to be an option on this chart, because TradingView recently decided to wipe out all of the data on this chart for some reasons. One of our members, one of our students also opened a support ticket with them, and they said that they were just giving some lame excuses that the data is not available prior to this date. The data was fully available and the chart was looking really good, but for some reason they decided to pull the plug on us. They decided to just remove the data. And for that reason, I don't really know how exactly the structure on stable.c.d looks like. But considering that Bitcoin has been going up, I would say that the structure is definitely bearish on stable.c.d chart. And a reversal could happen if we break above this level. But 103,000, 107,000, this $4,000 range is where I'm planning to build a long-term long position on Bitcoin. And to respond to a very important question, do I believe that Bitcoin already has stopped? Absolutely not, because if you are a believer in an altcoin season, then you cannot say that a Bitcoin has already topped, because both of these things, they cannot be true at the same time. So either you believe that there is not going to be any altcoin season, or you would have to believe that uh you know uh Bitcoin will continue to create new all-time highs, because both of these things, they cannot be true at the same time. And I would highly recommend that you guys go and read this update. Let me see. Yeah. So this update, I would recommend all of you to please just scroll down a little bit on my Twitter account and find this update that I shared on Sunday, Altcoin Outlook, in which I explained in detail that in fact, the last paragraph says that, so this narrative that Bitcoin has already made its new all-time high and now it's time for altcoins to run is ridiculous, has already made. An altcoin season cannot happen in an environment where Bitcoin has peaked and stalled. Okay, it's kind of very obvious that if you think that Bitcoin already has stopped and there is no new all-time high, then how exactly are you expecting these altcoins to go up? For these altcoins to go up, for an altcoin season to happen, for an altcoin rally to happen. And by the way, I actually am a big believer in the fact that there will be an altcoin rally. There is no such thing as this time it's different. I don't know how many of you were there during the previous cycle, but every cycle people usually say the same thing, that this time it's different, this time there's not going to be any bull run. People were saying the same thing about Ethereum also. Okay, just a month or two ago, Ethereum was at 1400 level and people were saying that there is not going to be any new all-time high for ETH. And just in a matter of 2-3 months, Ethereum is back at 4800, 4900. So it basically tells you how volatile things can get just in a matter of few months. And Ethereum, if it can go from 1400 to 4900 just in a matter of few days, then anything is possible, right? So once again, an altcoin season cannot happen in an environment where Bitcoin is peaked installed. Why? Because if Bitcoin stops creating higher highs, liquidity dries up, and very foundation that drives risk rotation into altcoins is simply just going to collapse. So you are basically saying that there is going to be no altcoin season, and Bitcoin would just continue to pump. No, it's not possible. You either have to believe that Bitcoin has already made its new all-time high and there is not going to be any altcoin season. If you believe that, then this would make sense. But saying that, okay, Bitcoin already has made the new all-time high and there is still going to be an altcoin season, both of these things, they cannot be right at the same time. But anyways, uh, regarding Bitcoin chart once again, uh, why do I believe that a move down to 108,000 may happen, 108,000, 107,000 may happen? The reason is because on the daily time frame chart, it's a very beautiful higher high pattern, right? I've explained this several times during the previous live streams also. I would not go into more details, but this is a very beautiful higher high pattern. All you have to do is just draw the fib levels from the start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, meaning that a retest of 61.8% fib level is still pending. 61.8% fib level is at 108.3k. We only had a wick down to 108.7k, 108.8k, and usually usually a wick into 61.8% is first reaction, small reaction, weak reaction. The actual reaction will always happen whenever there is a wick down to 65%, 70.5% fib level. So that is why I believe that looking at the 𝗨𝗿𝗆𝐶.D chart, but I would prefer analyzing things in real times, and instead of just placing the limit orders. And that is why you would have seen that instead of placing limit orders, I am usually just going with the market orders. I'm talking about Bitcoin Ethereum chart. I'm not talking about the other altcoin charts. I'm talking about these bigger market cap coins that I usually have been avoiding placing limit orders. I'm usually going with the market orders because I want to analyze these things in real time, and I want to be sure that where exactly these correlated charts are when we are making a decision about long or a short. So if, let's suppose, I'm looking to short Bitcoin at this level, I want to be sure that 𝗨𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝐷 is also sitting at a higher time frame support, and only then I'm going to build a long position, short position on Bitcoin. So that is why I believe actually that this is a major swing low, this is a major swing high. Now, the reason why I say that, for as long as this 123,000, 124,000, in fact, what's the all-time high? 124.4k. For as long as this 124.5k all-time high is valid, okay, price can always retrace back down to at least this zone, at least 65% to 70.5% fib level. But if price creates a new all-time high, you would obviously have to change the positioning of this, or then you would have to, if a daily candle close happens, you would have to change the positioning altogether. And then you would say that, okay, it's looking something like this. Let me analyze one more important thing. Yeah. So basically, if a new all-time high gets created and price gives you a fresh break of structure, this is what a break of structure would look like. Price would close a daily candle above this high. Then in that case, you would draw the fib levels from this low up to that high, whatever the new all-time high is. And then in that case, you would once again look at 61.8%, 65% fib level. I can show you a live demonstration of this. We are already in an Ethereum long position, but if you would draw you can see that this is the pattern on ETH, right? You have an impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave, and impulsive wave, okay? So this is your last break of structure because price closed a daily candle above, meaning that this is your major swing low, this is your major swing high, meaning that you would draw the fib levels usually from the start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, and you would expect the price to give a reaction at 70.5% fib level. And you can see this for yourself that price precisely went down to 70.5% fib level. Although we did not open a long position on ETH, I did place the limit for 4,000. I already have a long position and spot position open on ETH. The entry was 4144 or something like that, 4142 in fact. But you can see that because of this break of structure, price only went down to 70.5% fib level because ETH is just moving in an uptrend. Uh, but due to some other reasons, due to some other confluences, I mentioned that I'm more comfortable. Instead of going long at 4,300 level, I'm more comfortable taking a long at 4,000 levels, okay? Because whenever I'm building a long-term position, I always try to make sure that although 4,300 is a support level, right? I can show you that 4,300 is a strong support. I already have this horizontal line drawn at 4,300, and if I show you the 4-hour time frame chart, you can see that this is a higher time frame support, at least the 4-hour time frame support for ETH. Resistance, rejection happened, price came back up, bounce happened, price came back under this level, the rejection happened, price came back above this level. Once again, the bounce happened, meaning that 4,300 is indeed a legit level. So we could have taken a long position at this level. But for me, the idea is always very simple. Whenever you are about to build a long term position specifically, you have to ask yourself this one simple question. If this was one of the 5 positions that I could take for the rest of my lifetime, and remember that these 5 positions have to make you life changing money, then would I still want to do that? Would I still want to get into this position? If the answer is no, then you simply just need to sit back, relax, and wait for price to come back to you. Wait for price to give you that best possible position. And in this situation, the answer was obviously no. 4,300 was a good level, and there was expectation that price would bounce from 4,300, but still I did not want to go with this long position simply just because 4,300 was not a big point of interest for me. Okay, was not a big support level. And when both of these supports, they are so close to each other, they're quite close to each other, you would always go with the one that is on higher time frame. And in this case, because 4,100, sorry, 4,000 is a higher time frame support, weekly support, 3-day support, 1-day support, so that is why I just wanted to go with the 4,000 level. And so, for as long as this all-time high on BTC is valid, we can always expect price on the BTC chart to go back down to 40, go back down to 106,000, 107,000, 105,000. I'm in this range. Um, and we will be making the decision in real time about opening a short position on BTC. Yeah, CRO had a massive pump. If I'm not wrong, their founder met Trump or something like that. They are doing some partnership. But yeah, the train is already gone. And regarding CRO, this is my point of interest. Okay, so I still remember how I missed this position. It was a first retest. I was about to give the position, but then price was slightly higher from the entry, and I just missed this position. If I had taken this position, you can see that but I've easily caught this 200% move. But anyways, uh, at least on Bluffin, this is the all-time high. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin Binance chart. It's not listed on Binance, but let's see on Bybit. What's the all-time high? So the all-time high was at 97 cents, but this is a, yeah, we can actually build a position at this level. And if you're about to tell me that it will never retrace back down to these levels, even for Link also we have a limit placed at $20. It's not a realistic argument. These coins, they would always go back down. It's only a matter of time. So same with CRO, only a matter of time that it will retrace back down to our point of interest. In this situation, you have two choices. Either you can go with this level, which seems like a good one. Not the best one, I would say. I would be more than happy to go long at 17 cents range. This level instead. This is a much better level to go long. Yeah. So at some point in time, definitely it would go back down to this level. Let's set an alert around here. In fact, on the Bluffin chart, I already have the alert set. Yep. I already have the alert set. So I'm just waiting for price to retrace back down to this level, and that is when I would be getting into a position on CRO. But there is no point chasing the price right now. Already has gone up a lot, and you would be making fool of yourself if you are literally going to chase this. In fact, I would like to draw the fib levels, and the best part is that 61.8%, 65% fib level, they are perfectly aligned in the same entry range that I'm talking about. So yeah, I would be more than happy to buy it around 18 cents, around 17 cents level, placing stops right under this level, right under 70.5% fib level. So that is how the entry is going to look like. Can we short it? No, I used to short the top gainers, but in the current market, it's not really going to be a good idea. During the bear market, that was my favorite thing to do. During the bear market, it was a really good, profitable thing to do. All you had to do was just, because you see, during the bear market, everything is going down. So even if a coin gives you a 60%, 70% pump, it will eventually go down. So all you have to do is just try to catch the top. Okay, just try to catch the top for this coin, and then you can easily have a 50%, 60% move, because you know that the direction is downside already, and sooner or later price would go down. Uh, so because the market is bearish, because the overall market is bearish, but opposite is the case here. Okay, so in this situation, because we are in a bull market, although it's a very different bull market, uh, but still you cannot really short these coins. They can actually just continue to go up. I mean, the latest example was NMR. It was trading somewhere around here just yesterday. You can see that this is where it was. Um, yeah. So it was trading around $15, and just in the last 24 hours, it has gone up to $24. So yeah, it's usually not a good idea to short these coins, especially if you are at the peak of the bull market. Although I don't really think we are at the peak of the bull market, meaning a situation where everything would just continue to go up. We are in a phase where things definitely would go down. Link is the example, NMR is the example. I was looking at this coin ASR. If you guys remember, we traded this coin a few weeks ago. This was our position. This was our position on ASR, and it stopped us break even. So that is where it stopped us break even, and then it just went up almost 300%. So imagine if you were asking me the question right here, asking that, hey Sherlock, can we get into ASR? The chart is looking really good. The founder met Trump yesterday, and then this is exactly what happened. This is, by the way, this pattern is referred to as Burj Khalifa pattern, right? Uh, Burj Khalifa pattern, it's very common. And if you wish to stay away from situation like this, then do not fall for these traps. that the partnership happened or this happened or that happened. Exactly the situation that we were talking about at the very beginning of this stream, that you don't really have to rely on these fundamental news events. You just have to rely on the chart part. Okay, you just have to look at the chart and then make your decision and stay away from Burj Khalifa. Are you looking to open any alt longs at this moment? No, I'm not, because the reason is I'm already in a quantum long position. It's sitting at support, sitting at quarterly VWAP, sitting at yearly VWAP. It's gonna take some time to play out. Hopefully, it plays out in our favor. So that is why I'm definitely not planning to open any long position right now. It wouldn't really make sense considering that I already have a long position open. In fact, we are in a very peculiar situation in which we have one long position open and one short position open. I usually don't do that uh, because you need to have clarity about the market direction, and only then you should be getting into a position. Market has been really boring to trade for the past 1 or 2 weeks, I would say, and I'm not worried about this thing. It's always usually like this. At least we did not hit any stop loss. At least we did not make any major loss during this month, and that was my priority. September, I believe, is going to be really good. Although people have been saying that historically, September is usually bearish, but still, I believe that because of rate cuts and everything, the first 2 weeks could be difficult. First 2 weeks you may see a move down to 105,000, but sub 100k levels, I don't really think it's going to be possible. And yeah, there is a question from someone saying, can BTC go down to 95k to 90 at this point in time? The chances of Bitcoin going down to 90,000 to 95,000 are less than, I would say, 10%. So less than 10% chance that Bitcoin would go below 100k down to 90 to 95,000 level. So this is a chart for Magic. The chart has constantly been making these higher highs and higher lows. uh Based on that, you can actually build a long position on Magic, because you can see that price is sitting on 61.8% fib level, 65% fib level. I'm sure that it's making, and this is a very common pattern with Magic. You can see that it would just consolidate for a few days, then it would give a breakout above trend line, massive breakout above trend line, then it would consolidate a little bit, would go back down to retest, give the retest at support, then it would break above the trend line. And same is the case here. It's just giving a retest at the higher time frame support. This is the first retest, so quite possible that this one is going to be a successful one. If you wish to open a position, you can do that. Although it's trading below the quarterly VWAP on the daily time frame chart, but if you ignore all of these things, then you can actually position yourself into a small Magic long position, place your stops right under this higher time frame support level, and have this trend line, descending trend line, rely on the trend line breakout, and wait for a pump and dump group to notice this, because this coin is usually on the mercy of pump and dump groups. Wait for one such group to notice this coin, and they would pump your bag. And by the way, once again, 60 plus people watching the live stream, only 48 of you have liked it. Please make sure to like the live stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel. CME gap on 93k, that is my question. This argument that price would go back to fill the CME gap is not a valid argument. There have been so many instances that price left the CME gap open. So this argument that the CME gap would always be filled, this is the gap that you were talking about, right? This gap around 92,000. So this argument that price would always go back up or down to fill the CME gaps, it's not a valid argument in my opinion. Sometimes it would go back, sometimes it may not. And it's not like these regions act as magnets. It's only because we believe that these regions act as magnets. Is that is that why coins like Magic, Wine, etc. pump so aggressively? Because of these groups? Yeah, that's common knowledge, right? Most of, and I can tell you the name of the trader who pumps Magic actively. I would not like to name him, but he has good following on Twitter. I believe 700k, 800k, is a very popular pump and dump person. Has been accused by 𝗟𝘅𝗲𝗃𝗁𝐶, about his actions. On his actions, he has been accused multiple times of doing similar kind of things. He would regularly choose a coin and then pump it massively and then dump on his audience. uh but yeah, let's just not name him. Let's just keep it civilized. I don't want to name him, but yeah. How tall is Sherlock? So I'm 6 feet tall. That's all. Uh, Tell us, please. What are you talking about? So you guys want me to tell you a pump and dump person name so that you can just go and join his group? I mean, come on. He's just going to pump his bags on you. You would simply just be used at use. You would simply just be used as exit liquidity, and yeah, Zach actually did a expose on him, and multiple people have multiple people have done expose on him. So yeah, it's common knowledge. Yeah, you someone just named him in the chat. So yeah, you already know. Can you expect BTC goes down than Ethereum 3600 level? If Bitcoin goes down to 90,000, 95,000, once again, the chances are less than 10%, I would say, then definitely Ethereum would go down to 3,000 level. I mean, this is very obvious, but Ethereum at 3,000 is going to be a big thing. Do not miss Ethereum at 3,000. If we get ETH at 3,000, that is going to be once again a big thing. The first retest will be happening at 3,000 level. The first retest of 3,000 is still pending. Although I still believe that the first retest of 3,000 has happened at least on the 4 hour time frame chart. You may argue that on the daily also this retest has happened, but the full retest has not happened of 3,000 level, and it's going to be a very good opportunity. Same was the case with 4,000. And remember that we were able to successfully build all of these positions on Ethereum. We opened a spot and leverage position on ETH at 3,000. Then we opened another spot and leverage position on ETH at 4,000 level. Then we opened another one when it price went down to 41, 44 level. When this first retest was happening, we opened at the time of breakout also. I actually gave the hint for 4380 level, but was not able to get into that position. Solana has been looking really interesting. I hate looking at that coin, but Solana is looking really interesting. You can see that, if the daily candle close happens above $212 level, I'm actually thinking about getting into Solana, because if you take a look at the chart for Sol ETH, you can see that Sol ETH is sitting at higher time frame support and a trendline breakout is happening. In fact, just in a live stream that I did yesterday, I was pointing out the same thing, that because of this trendline breakout, I'm actually interested in trading Solana. And it's quite possible that Solana, this one would go up at least to this level. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, this chart is telling you the strength of Solana against Ethereum. So if price on this chart would go up, or if price on this chart has a trendline breakout happening, and if you are expecting it to go up, then this would mean that Solana is outperforming bit Ethereum. And if price on this chart would go down, which has been the case for the past few months, it is an indication that Ethereum is going to outperform Solana. And this is exactly what has happened. Solana has been constantly trading in that $200 to $120 range, while Ethereum just pumped from $1,400 all the way up to $4,900. So this was because Sol ETH chart was constantly going down, constantly making these lower lows and lower highs. But if this breakout happens genuinely, then it's going to be a big thing. Check CATI for 1 day. That coin has very low liquidity. Why exactly are you trading that coin? 1 day trendline breakout. I have traded this coin only once, if I remember, almost 4 or 5 months ago. Why NMR and CRO pumping? I have no idea about I have no idea about NMR, but about CRO, it was because of the news of the founder doing a meeting with Trump or something like that. It's literally a scam token, but trendline breakout. There are so many other coins having these trendline breakouts. This one is not giving you any specific trendline breakout, and yeah, there is no trendline breakout. Only if you get a daily candle close above this trend line, then you would say that the trendline breakout is happening. In this case, there is no trendline breakout. No such thing as trendline breakout here. Nope. Can you check with ontology? It seems good for long at CMP. Yes, sure. USDT.p Is it looking good for long? Is is this what you said? No, I don't really think so because it just had a break below this level. Yes. It just had a break below this level. It was not able to hold above this level. I usually avoid trading this coin specifically because there are a lot of scam moves on this coin. Whenever I chart these coins, I always have at the back of my mind, uh, some of the history of these coins, that how exactly these coins behave. I can tell you about this one coin it's called BSW maybe or something like that. No, yeah, this coin. You can see that because of the scam tokens, because of these scam moves, I usually avoid trading these coins. So same is the case with ontology also. I usually avoid trading this coin because I have seen so many scam moves happen on this coin. What is your favorite AI play? I just cannot name any coin, but yeah, Tau is good in this category. But yeah, honestly, I have never really cared much about trading these coins as per the category or sector. I usually have just two favorite coins which I would always be holding in spot. One is Bitcoin, other one is Ethereum. So if you are looking for long-term investment advice, then I'm not the right person to ask. I'll be honest with you. I can give you some day trading ideas, but except for Ethereum, I have regularly shared the idea that Ethereum at $3,000 is the easiest trade that you would get for the rest of the year, and that was actually true. 3,000 to 4,900, that was an easy trade. 4,000 was an easy trade. 4,000 retest was an easy trade. 3,900 sell was an easy trade. I mean, when you gonna share your Instagram with us? Perma Bear, my daddy. Who are you, Perma Bear, my daddy? He just covered it and said, good to have long at CMP. Which coin are we talking about? What about OPUSDT? Okay, let's take a look at the chart for optimism. This coin used to be so good, but it has been just dead for some time. But yeah, you can see that this is already trading below the resistance level. So until and unless a reclaim of this level happens, you can see that there is no reason to trade this coin. Nothing interesting. The coin is almost dead, has been trading around the same level since 11th of March. So absolutely not a good idea to trade this coin. Sui, which level good entry for us? It's been a long time since we traded Sui. Um, I would say wait for a reclaim of this level. Wait for a reclaim of this level. In fact, let's take a look at the chart for Sui against Bitcoin. Every time I have some noise on these charts, I usually try to look at the chart against Bitcoin, just get a better idea of where exactly price is headed towards. So I would say that until and unless a reclaim of this resistance happens, it may not be a good idea to get into Sui. You just need to play these charts level by level. Maybe Sui each chart if it's listed. No, it's not listed. But we can definitely look at the chart against Ethereum also. Yup, you can see that Sui against Ethereum has been constantly going down. So on this chart, we have a decent support level, decent resistance level. It's a resistance for now. So unless a reclaim of this resistance happens, I would not recommend. But the good thing is that it's sitting at a higher time frame support. So if you see any signs of reversal here, then Sui could be a good buy. The chart is looking good against Ethereum in that situation. This was a small deviation. Just like Solana, the chart is looking good against ETH, but you can see that ETH has been sucking all the liquidity for the past 1 or 2 months. Yeah, that was an easy short position. ETH gonna be 30% down, move from all-time high. It happened in 2017, 2021. So let's see what 30% is going to be. I hope the 30% takes us down to $3,000 level. But if that happens, I will be more than happy. Yeah, if 30% happens, it's going to be 3,000. I'll be more than happy. And I believe that it's going to be a very good opportunity. Can Bitcoin dominance go up? Yes, it can go up because it has this descending trendline formation. So it's quite possible that Bitcoin dominance will break above this trend line. In fact, one of the two updates that I shared this morning, I did mention that Bitcoin dominance could go up to $4,000 level because it has this descending trend line formation. So that is why you need to be slightly careful with any long positions. And this is why you see that coins are not going up a lot because Bitcoin dominance has also been going up with Bitcoin price going up. So yeah, not a good mix you see. Um, ENA. ENA is trading below resistance, so no need to get into ENA unless the reclaim of this level happens. Regarding Arrow, I already have said this multiple times that this is my point of interest, going to be a very good zone to get into Arrow. If we draw the fib levels also, you can see that this level perfectly matches with fib levels, this higher time frame support. And yeah, that is where if you have to place the limits, then expect the price on this chart to go down to at least $1 level. It's right now trading at $1.24. USDT.D chart, please, if not done yet. We already looked at stable.c.d, but USDT dominance uh is still trading under this resistance level. Once again, a small deviation happened. Once again, a small deviation retest. But I would say that much better chart to look at is stable.c.d. Uh, instead of taking a look at, just 1 second, I have to reply to someone. Yeah, so I'm saying that stable.c.d, this is what you should be looking at instead of looking at USDT dominance, BBUSDT. This chart also has scam moves, I'm telling you this. No, there is no daily trendline breakout. It's still trading under this major resistance level on daily. You can see that. So unless a reclaim happens, that's not a good trade. It's trading under this resistance level. Yeah. Uh, okay, guys. Once again, requesting all of you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please make sure to like the live stream. If you are not following me over Twitter, 𝗟𝘅𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁, this is my Twitter handle. If you would like to receive more organized updates and calls, you can always join in the Discord server. The link you can find in the description of this video. And if you would like to have access to Discord server, any of these indicators that I mentioned to you, the mentorship program, because we have mentorship program going in full swing. Almost 35 people joined the mentorship program just this month alone, just in the month of August. And there is a huge discount offer going on the mentorship program. Where did you learn about your strategy? I basically created it myself. I'll be honest with you, did not learn it from someone. I did not have any mentor. Does anyone send personal DM from Foxian? No, no. If you are getting a personal DM from anyone, just block them, report them. None of the staff members, including myself, we will never DM you directly. All of the communication, it would happen always in the Discord server, in the chat, and we will never ever try to DM you. And if anyone is sending you DMs, just block them, report them on Twitter, because we have been noticing that there are fake accounts being created on Twitter also. So all of these accounts, they're completely fake. And about my strategy, support, resistance, trend lines, chart patterns, well, 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, quarterly, yearly VWAP, market structure, all of these things I teach in my mentorship program. Once again, it's a good, I would say, opportunity for all of you. We have a lifetime mentorship program. and all of the things, almost 300 plus 1 hour videos are going to be in that mentorship program. 50 plus videos have already been recorded and they are being uploaded after editing. They are being uploaded on the website. If you buy the mentorship program, you will have access to all of these videos. You will have access to 1 month free 𝗏𝗀 server also, and the mentorship server for lifetime, all of the future courses for lifetime, all the resources, all the PDFs, all the educational content, live lectures, previous recorded lectures, almost everything is included in that mentorship program. You should give us a course about your strategy. Yes, I already have a course. We just have to join the Discord server, open a support ticket, and then you can access, uh, all the information about course. We have a very extended course, and if I show you the reviews from some of our students, then you would realize that it's a very extensive program. It's unlike other programs. It's not a 1 week mentorship, 2 week mentorship. I literally teach everything from scratch, from the very start, from the beginning. And you would be surprised to know that we are working on creating educational guides about how to use these indicators, how to apply these indicators in TradingView, a complete guide on TradingView, how to use it, how to use all of these tools and everything, how to use these indicators. I mean, I my goal is to have a program, and the best part is that all of these videos, they are being recorded in 4K, then they are being sent to the designer who works on these videos content, and then they are properly edited, chapters being added, subtitles being added, everything, audio being adjusted, and then they are uploaded in a student section on the website, meaning that we have all of the content that we are creating for future. And 50 plus videos have already been recorded in that series, and there are going to be 300 plus videos, and each one of these videos, it's 1 hour long. So it's going to be a very extensive program, and it's basically going to include everything related to trading, everything related to crypto, everything related to indices, everything related to trading in general. So yeah, my goal is to have this program as extensive as possible, so that you can always go back to these videos and learn about any of the things that you wish to, be it RSI, be it divergences, be it these indices, be it correlated charts, be it technical analysis, any other concept related to technical analysis. So yeah, we are trying our best to create one such program. We are already halfway through it. It's going to take some time, but yeah, you can join in the program and have access to all of these things. When we go to short BTC, can you short also any altcoins, please? It depends on the conditions. If Bitcoin dominance at that time is at resistance, so I would not recommend shorting Bitcoin dominance at that time. But yeah, based on the situation, we will decide if we have to short any other altcoin. But yeah, I'm already in waves short position. I'm already in QTUM quantum long position. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Please do not forget to like the live stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and join the Discord server. This is the most important part. Stay in the Discord server so that you are being notified of all these programs, all this information that is being conveyed by us, all of these programs that are being offered by us. There are regular giveaways happening so that you are able to participate in those giveaways. Will the lecture in your program be live? Govind is asking. Yes, all of the lectures are done live every single week, and then they are being recorded. So live lectures are recorded, and then the recording is being edited and is uploaded on the website for students, in the student section. So yeah, it's not like only the recorded lectures are being uploaded. Every single lecture has been done live. So the questions are being taken live, and it's a one-on-one mentorship program basically. That is how basically it works. Thank you so much, guys. Take care and have a great week ahead. See you guys next week. Take care. Bye bye.